Good evening from historic Nickerson Hall on the campus of the University of Indianapolis. It is men's college basketball. Northern Kentucky, the Norse, facing the University of Indianapolis, the Greyhounds. It is senior night at Nickerson Hall. It is our pleasure to have you with us here tonight on the UIndy television network. I am Scott McCauley alongside of Ralph Reef. And Ralph, it's senior night. There's only one senior on this basketball team, but it's still a very special night when you come here to pack the house at Nickerson Hall.
Well, it certainly is a great night for senior Scott Strom from the University of Indianapolis. Yes, there's only one senior, which makes it a bit unique, but talking to the coaching staff before the game, it makes it also very special.
The Greyhounds at 13-12, 9-9 overall, taking on Northern Kentucky, who has clinched a spot in the GLVC tournament at 9-7 and 12-6, and with one senior on the team, that would mean plenty of youngsters that have an opportunity to step up throughout this season. An important game to build for the offseason.
Well, and talking about what is the importance of tonight for this University of Indianapolis team, it's a challenge because of where they sit relative to the postseason tournament. 2 weeks ago, they were really challenging for a top spot. Things settled out. Now they're in a situation where tonight's their last ball game, but they've got reasons to play hard, and one reason is that they keep score in a game like this, and that's reason alone to play hard.
The pregame show brought to you by H.H. Gregg. Check out H.H. Gregg, where you can get a great price as well as some great advice. The pregame show brought to you by H.H. Gregg. Now, Ralph, we look at some keys to this game, the Thrifty car rental keys to the game, and what do you have for us?
Well, this Northern Kentucky team is going to present some challenges for the University of Indianapolis defensively, but they have to close out on the ball. University of Indianapolis has to chase the ball. They have to close out well against this very good shooting team that surrounds a 7-footer inside the post. Therefore, the second key is they've got to help inside out. This is a ball club from Northern Kentucky that likes to drill it inside to their 7-footer and look for perimeter opportunities. They've got to defend inside out. Offensively, University of Indianapolis, run to score. This is a team that has to take advantage of turnover opportunities, quick rebounds off the rim, get it out, go. Don't let the Northern Kentucky defense set. They've got to run to score.
The Thrifty car rental keys to the game: be smart, buy Thrifty. Next time you want to rent a car in Indianapolis or across the country, visit thrifty.com. Now you look at this series between the Greyhounds and the Norse. This is a very good rivalry, and this is as tight as you can get. The Greyhounds currently trail this series by just one game, 26-27. And that difference, the last time these teams met in Highland Heights back on the 25th of January, losing by 5 points. Now, Northern Kentucky has won 4 straight in this series. Prior to that, it was 4 straight wins for the University of Indianapolis. Something has to give here tonight.
Well, it certainly does, and it has been 2 years since February 12th that the University of Indianapolis has beaten Northern Kentucky, so it's been a drought. This is a situation where you would look and say certainly the better opponent on the floor tonight is Northern Kentucky, but you're playing at home in Nickerson, and again, senior night and some great opportunity to play competitive tonight. I think it'll be an interesting ball game.
And the graphic that you saw, Justin Barnard, he had 16 points, DeAndre Brock 14, Braxton Mills 13, including 9 rebounds the last time these teams met and the Greyhounds lost. Now, for Northern Kentucky, not only is their top threat an outstanding player, he is a transfer from Bowling Green, and this week was named the GLVC Offensive Player of the Week, and it's Stephen Wright.
Well, he's done everything for this Northern Kentucky club. He averages 17 points per game, 5.5 rebounds. He's also their assist leader at over 3 assists per game. So every possession goes through Stephen Wright, number 1 on his jersey, and there's a reason for that. He carries this ball club.
He is a 6'3" senior from Dayton, Ohio, is Stephen Wright. Now, some bad news for the Greyhounds as they prepare for this game. Our Methodist Sports Medicine Injury Report has number 22, Jordan Barnhart, on this list with a foot injury. It actually occurred in practice. He is not in uniform. He has warm-ups on and is currently walking around in crutches. That's a tough loss for this Greyhounds team.
Well, it takes depth away. This is a ball club that Coach Sturgeon likes to play deep into his bench. It just takes one person out of the rotation, and you never know who's going to be hot on a particular night. He's not going to get the chance tonight.
That's the Methodist Sports Medicine Injury Report. Now we take a look at our AAA starting lineups. As the fan of the University of Indianapolis, you're entitled to a discounted AAA Hoosier Motor Club membership if you don't already have one. For a limited time only, you can also add on associate members at a discounted rate. For additional information, contact AAA's Greg Cedar at 317-923-1500. You take a look at those starting lineups for Northern Kentucky. At one forward, it will be Vincent Humphrey. At center, it will be James Kripe, a kid from Loveland, Ohio. 3-guard offense featuring the talented Stephen Wright. And also involved is Billy Finnell. He is a kid from Cincinnati, Ohio, as well as David McFarland, a 6-foot sophomore from Florence, Kentucky. Now for the Greyhounds, 2 guards, a center, and 2 forwards. One of those forwards, the talented Braxton Mills, the 6'6 sophomore from Pike. Also is Reed Ludlow, the 6'8 junior from Bloomington North. At the center, well, that's got to be a guard. He's the center. Scott Strand, the 5'11 senior, getting the start here in this 5. Another guard, Tyke Cockerham, the sophomore from Cathedral, and the leading scorer on this team, the 6'2 junior from Warren Central, DeAndre Brock. Those are some guards that can fill it up when you look at that starting lineup for the Greyhounds.
Well, they certainly can, and again, I think that goes with this pregame strategy by the Greyhounds is to try to run the ball, but they've got to have quickness on the court defensively to close out.
And that is a look at the AAA starting lineups. We will take this timeout and come back with basketball action from Nickerson Hall. Greyhounds in Northern Kentucky on the UIndy Television Network. Northern Kentucky and the University of Indianapolis from Nickerson Hall. A gymnasium that was built in 1960. It seats 4,000. All 4,000 that come into the gym tonight for this game between the Norse and the Greyhounds receive the crimson cloth. They will be waving it around, not only honoring the senior who they have honored here tonight, but also all of these players who wrap up this season, this 2006-2007 season. Northern Kentucky comes in at 19-7. The Greyhounds come in at 13-12. Now let's send it over to our public address announcer with tonight's starting lineups.
At guard, a 6-foot sophomore, number 15, Billy Finnell. At guard, a 6-foot sophomore, number 32, David McFarland. At forward, a 6'4 junior, number 5, Vincent Humphrey. And at center, a 7-foot senior, number 41, James Kripe. The head coach of the Norse in his 3rd season is Dave Bizold. And now your University of Indianapolis Greyhounds. At 1 guard, a 6'1 sophomore from Indianapolis Cathedral, number 5, Tyke Cockerham. At guard, a 5'11 senior from Avon High School, number 24, Scott Strom. At guard, a 6'2 junior from Warren Central High School, number 32, DeAndre Brock. At forward, a 6'6 sophomore from Pike High School, number 42, Braxton Mills. And at center, a 6'8 junior from Bloomington North, number 34, Reed Ludlow. The head coach of the Greyhounds in his 10th season is Todd Sturgeon, assisted by Fred Andrews and Austin Parkinson.
Great look inside of the huddle for the Greyhounds as they now prepare for this battle with Northern Kentucky. Ralph, we've gone over some keys. It's time to jump this up. Pack the house tonight. I know the weather outside isn't that great, but it's really comfortable in here at Nickerson Hall.
Well, it's a great atmosphere, and this is a good crowd for this University of Indianapolis, south side of the great city of Indianapolis. For this Saturday night, late in the basketball season, everybody's thinking about college basketball. It's great to be inside this wonderful historic venue on the University of Indianapolis campus. And Todd Sturgeon, as he talked to his club beforehand, they're going to come out and play a very hard man-to-man defense. He's hoping that that's what will get the job done tonight. They've got great shooters. He doesn't want to have to go to zone, so he's really challenged his guys going with this quicker, smaller lineup to be a quicker Greyhound squad tonight.
There's a look at the 7-footer James Kripe from Loveland, Ohio. He will jump at center. And the Greyhounds, some revenge on their mind. Northern Kentucky, with their loss that they had the other night, it knocked the Greyhounds out of postseason consideration for the GLVC, and the Greyhounds control the tap. And with the basketball is DeAndre Brock, the talented junior from Warren Central. Tyke Cockerham with the start, penetration, that's on the glass, and a goaltending.
Boy, a very quick guard play, good screen up high, and went to the rim and got it slapped away. 2 points for the Greyhounds.
Not many starts this season for Cockerham. This is only his 12th in the 26th game, and he has the first 2 points of the game. Down low to the big guy, the 7-footer Ludlow is on him. Here comes the double. Northern Kentucky will try and pound that ball inside, and Kripe has his first 2 points of the game.
Inside-out ball game. We'll see that a lot here early on until they establish the flow of this ball game.
The lone senior on this Greyhounds team with the basketball, Strom. Over to Cockerham. It will be difficult for the Greyhounds to try and get something inside, and Brock was just incidentally poked in the eye by Wright. Cockerham aggressive, bodied up, and that's a good start. Kripe already has his first foul.
Well, Tyke Cockerham twice now has really gone hard to the baseline, has created good activity. Here we see it again. He's going to go down, and there's no way that the big James Kripe, the 7-footer, can get to the baseline in time.
Cockerham has always been an aggressive player, even back to his days at Cathedral High School. He is a transfer from Morehead State. Brock with the ball, guarded by Wright. That should be a great matchup to see those two going head-to-head tonight. Strom with it out top. Shot clock at 20. Just inside the arc. No good on the shot.
Good effort.
And the rebound. Back up and in. Brock can't get it to go. And it will remain to the Greyhounds.
Really nice job by DeAndre Brock to keep that ball alive. I think everybody else was ready to head back down the floor, but he stayed in it.
Well, if Braxton Mills can start to hit that shot from just inside the arc, that will bring some of the big guys out. Brock with it. Cockerham being guarded by McFarland. Here's Ludlow. Couple of big guys banging together. And Northern Kentucky's Wright is out with the rebound. 6'3" out of Dayton, the player of the week in the GLVC, and he's stripped away. First turnover of the game for Northern Kentucky. DeAndre over to Cockerham. To no one in general on that pass for Strom. Each team now with a turnover on for possessions, and now that's back-to-back turnovers. Good defense on the big guy inside.
Certainly is. They're really playing him tight. They've got to lob the ball up high. That time they just overthrew it. Greyhounds get it.
2 minutes in, tied at 2. Greyhounds coming off of a victory. There's a steal by Wright, and he will go in with the two-handed slam. He picked it off at half court, and his first 2 points of the game, an easy deuce on the dunk.
Stephen Wright, very productive player, 17 points per game. He's got a rebound already and 2 points.
Strom with it out top. DeAndre with the look, the pump fake, runs into Kripe. You may have that happen quite a bit if you're trying to go baseline inside the paint. That time he challenges Kripe, and the putback by Strom. Third attempt is good. It's Braxton Mills with his first 2 points of the game.
Really good effort by the Greyhounds to crash and stay active, going after the basketball hungry.
And now a foul underneath. Ludlow will be called for his first, trying to body up on Kripe.
You know, with Cockerham and Strom in the ball game, they've shared time this year. Usually one of them sits on the floor, but here we go back and look at this replay, and a really great job coming out, but fouled as he went to guard Kripe. Now they've got the ball in bounds, again with their big man Stephen Wright, big producer with the ball.
Wright with the pass in the corner, the three ball no good, but Kripe pulls down the rebound, and it's knocked away. And now a quick timeout will have to be called as the trap is put on DeAndre Brock, and we'll get to a timeout. 16:53 to go here in the first half. A 4-4 game on the UIndy television network. Senior night at Nickerson Hall, and a good one, a 4-4 game early. Northern Kentucky, who lost on Thursday to St. Joseph's, and that knocked the Greyhounds out of postseason consideration. UIndy, a big winner over Bellarmine, 71-68 the last time out. Greyhounds in search of their 14th win of the season, their final game of the year. DeAndre Brock with the basketball, finds a way baseline, and Kripe ended up getting over the back and knocking that out of bounds, and his Wright tried to save it. It will remain to the Greyhounds.
Get a new shot clock, so the Greyhounds get a full 35 with this ball inbounds underneath their own basket.
And Ludlow will take a seat as Justin Barnard, the 6'6 junior from Waldron, checks in. And he tried the one-handed tip, couldn't do it on the inbounds play. Sloppy inbounds play for the Greyhounds, and the turnover comes to Northern Kentucky. Strom applies the pressure, forces the kick out. Nice pass to Wright. Misses the easy layup, gets his own shot. And he gets it off the glass. He has 4 points.
Boy, he has the green light to do whatever he wants to do on the floor. That time, gave his point guard a little signal. He was going back door. They get it to him. Then he just goes.
He was able to lose Cockerham on that backdoor move. Brock now guarded by Wright. Here comes the double, needing some help. And a reach-in foul on Wright. That's his first.
Northern Kentucky has made some adjustment defensively in that they're not allowing the Greyhounds to whip the ball around the perimeter as they did early in the ball game.
Look at the head coach, David Bizold, Northern Kentucky. Strom with it, the senior's three off the front of the rim. And a foul will be called on Cockerham going over the back.
Well, Cockerham got caught in a tough situation. The ball came off the rim so quick, he had nothing to do but jump up, and he got in trouble.
We are at the 15:49 mark here in the first half, and the Greyhounds trailing Northern Kentucky 6-4 on the UIndy television network. Our thanks to Coca-Cola, one of the fine corporate sponsors of Greyhounds basketball here on the UIndy television network. Scott McCauley and Ralph Reef, and we are almost 5 minutes in, and it's a 6-4 ball game in favor of the visiting Northern Kentucky Norse. They have the basketball. Just weaving out top. Stephen Wright has it, their leading scorer, one of their top player. Brock nearly knocks it away. 15 on the clock. There's a lot of movement and motion out front with those guards. Kripe has it, the 7-footer. Aggressive play, banging inside. Barnhard with the defensive stop. And almost trying to rip away that rebound was Northern Kentucky, but the Greyhounds will control.
Really good half-court defensive set, team defense that time by the Greyhounds. The best I've seen this season out of this team with some energy.
Strom with the basketball, frees up for a shot. Nice pass underneath. Mills can't hit the bunny. And Northern Kentucky now will push, and now Mills will reach in. Boy, he had a wide open point blank underneath the hoop, and the young man from Pike couldn't finish.
Well, and Braxton did a nice job there, but he got a little bit scared away. Now this is a frustration foul right here. He comes back down. He's in no position to play defense. He just grabs in, and that's pure frustration from not making the points offensively.
And that's right in front of his head coach, Todd Sturgeon. In his 10th year, 151 career wins.
Good closeout by the Greyhounds. They're really staying tight on the ball on the perimeter. That's one of their keys to this game.
That's Kevin Chappell, number 33. He has just checked into this ball game. Billy Finnell from Cincinnati, Ohio with the ball. 10 on the shot clock. Down the right side and gets away with a little push. Finds the open shooter. 3-ball, no good. Teammates fighting for it, and it will remain Northern Kentucky basketball.
Tough break, but good matchup. Man-to-man defense. Greyhounds did a nice job. Again, Northern Kentucky takes the ball inside, then they kick it outside. I thought the Greyhounds are responding well to that activity.
It was a good look at Coach Sturgeon. Kripe, that's a tough shot. You cannot defend that shot. Goes up with the high sky hook, rattles in and out. Scott Strom, the senior from Indianapolis, throws the lob. Well, we will be coming the other direction. The foul on Brock, trying to free up Mills for the backdoor lob.
You know, and this Greyhound ball club really deliberate about bringing the ball up the floor, but then they ran a set play. They had a great back screen for Braxton Mills. It would have been good, except for DeAndre Brock not setting his feet on the screen.
Well, Brock has yet to get going offensively. He had 25 points on Thursday night against Bellarmine. He has Wright on him. And now checking into the ball game for the Greyhounds is Keith Radcliffe, the kid from sophomore. He has drawn the assignment defensively on Wright. Here's Wright outside the wing. The 6'3" guard from Dayton. Shot clock is now at 5. Finnell will have to fire a deep 3 off the front of the rim. Rebound by Mills.
Really a nice job on defensively. They're rebounding, blocking people out, creating the opportunity for Mills to get the ball.
And we've seen 3 straight good defensive positions. There's a strip by Finnell on Brock. He has numbers 2-on-1. He'll take it himself, and Barnard with the foul, count the bucket.
A tough situation for Justin. He Here's the replay. He's got to guard two people. You can't see the other offensive player to his right on the screen, but if you're going to go up, you got to turn your chest into the ball player and try to chest up and get the ball deflected if you're going to foul him. Don't give him an open alley with that right-hand layup.
Yeah, tough situation. If you stop the ball, you know the Finnell has a chance for that layup, but then you're not maybe looking at this three-point play opportunity as Finnell, the 6-foot sophomore, eyes the rim and finishes that three-point play. A 9-4 lead for Northern Kentucky.
Critical possession here to get some points by the Greyhounds. They've made a lot of trips down the floor, non-productive.
There's a deep three, and it's in and out. Radcliffe couldn't get it to go. And on the push is Wright. Nearly lost the dribble. He'll go baseline, and a hand check foul. It's called by Myron Jackson.
And again, Stephen Wright just gets the ball, gets the rebound himself, and just takes off, and he's going to run that offense and create until he gets something done. That time he takes the defender to the baseline, gets the foul call. Northern Kentucky, new ball.
Finnell will inbound it. And he will lob it in the backcourt, and the race is on, and it will be Wright that takes it away. Really seeing that more and more now. Just that lob, almost that give-up. Set doesn't work. Just throw it back and have someone track it down. Finnell with the basketball. Over to Wright. And the foul is called on Northern Kentucky. Travis Rasso, the 6'8 junior. He is called for his first foul underneath.
Well, it's interesting that Northern Kentucky was able to make a low line drive skip pass, three-quarter court, but they were bailed out. Greyhounds were bailed out with that call.
12.5 to go here in the first. Greyhounds trailing by 5. Dangerous pass. Wright nearly had his second steal and fast break opportunity of the game. Brock still looking for his first points. And Jackson has that pass knocked out of bounds. And the Greyhounds will start it up with 14 on the shot clock. Need to start getting in a hurry on this offense.
You're exactly right, Scott. And too many passes that are too long, and they've had a lot of passes deflected in the passing lanes. The Greyhounds have got to shorten their passes, got to go inside out to get that defense to work harder.
And a traveling violation on Brock. They turn it over with the shot clock winding down to the Greyhounds. They have been stuck on 4 since our media timeout at the 15-minute mark. 12:06 to go. Visitors up by 5. Jump shot from just inside the arc is good. And that's 2 points.
The Greyhounds just too soft on the screen, didn't get through the screen and close up. Too much space for a good shooter.
Now 11-4. Just no way to get it inside with some of the big bodies that Northern has. Forced to work around the perimeter. Wright forces Brock to give it up. Nothing for Radcliffe. Barnard will tempt the long distance shot. They're saying his foot was on the line. No good off the rim. And the Greyhounds have gone ice cold here in the first. And the 3 ball up top misses everything. And it's out of bounds to the Greyhounds. And we will take a media timeout. 11:21 to go here in the first half. And the Greyhounds trailing Northern Kentucky 11-4 on the UIndy television network. Back at Nickerson Hall, thanks to UPS, one of the corporate sponsors of Greyhounds basketball. Scott McCauley, Ralph Reef, and Ralph, someone needs to start scoring some points for the Greyhounds, and you have an idea on who.
Well, DeAndre Brock, who is averaging for this Greyhound ball club almost 17 points per game, is 0 for 3 from the floor right now. He's got to get himself involved offensively and get this ball club going and get himself into the ball game.
So the Greyhounds' shooting woes have continued here in the first half. And defensively, Northern Kentucky allows the opposition to only shoot 45%. And there's a foul called as Tyke Cockerham checks back into the game. And also checking into the game for the Greyhounds is Sean Drake, a 6-foot freshman from Shelbyville.
Just to go over some quick stats of where this ball game is right now. Northern Kentucky 11-4 leaders over the Greyhounds. Those Greyhounds shooting just 2 of 13 for 15% from the floor, 42% for Northern Kentucky, 5 of 12.
Anthony Tink picks up his first foul. Drake with the basketball, cross-court pass. Nice aggressive move by Cockerham. and give him 2. He has 4 of the Greyhounds' 6 points here in this game.
Well, he's very good with his dribble penetration. He's aggressive. He gets the ball, he rips through, and he goes to the baseline.
11-6 is our score. 10:40 to go in the game. Teague with it out top. Over to Finnell. Lob pass, open underneath. That is a very pretty pass. Not an easy pass, and Travis Rasso has a pair.
Well, Reed Ludlow just got himself too far away defensively. Couldn't get off the ground to tip the ball.
Braxton Mills is preparing to check back into the game for the Greyhounds. Ludlow trying to get some positioning down low. Drake with it, cross-court pass, nearly throws it away. Nice catch by Cockerham. Barnard on top, 10 on the clock. Pass underneath, Cockerham didn't take the 15-footer, instead takes the dribble and misses the wing shot. Here comes Northern Kentucky on the push, coast to coast, and Finnell has the easy layup. He has 5 points, the early leading scorer.
I really believe that Ty Cockerham catches the ball, rips, goes baseline. He can drive successfully because Stephen Wright guarding him is too over-aggressive.
There's Cockerham as that ball stripped away.
And again, Cockerham had an open lane because Stephen Wright, he tries to create plays defensively, so he's going to back off. And you can see here, he goes underneath the screen. Now all of a sudden, Cockerham's got a lot of space to go. Wright reaches in and gets the foul.
They called it on number 40, Travis Rasso. And so Cockerham will shoot a pair, and he hits the first one. 5 points for Cockerham, only a 62% free throw shooter. Overall, the Greyhounds as a team, they do shoot 70%, but they have some guys on this roster that have some low numbers from the line. Good look at the transfer from Morehead State, from Cathedral. He is a very energetic ball player. Misses the second. 8-point lead for Northern Kentucky.
Travel. Just got a little bit ahead of himself.
Travels right in front of Strom. Mills, who checked in for Ludlow. No, Ludlow remains out there. Mills, as DeAndre Brock takes his first break of this game. Out on the court right now, it's Strom, Mills, Cockerham, Reed, and Ludlow. That's for the Greyhounds. Shot clock is at 20, really taking their time to set this offense. There's a throwaway. It's picked up by Wright. His second steal of the game. And on the foul is Cockerham, and afterwards, Cockerham.
Well, Stephen Wright gave him a little extra elbow in the rib cage once the whistle blew. So a little bit of competitive. We'll see it here. If we go far enough in the replay, I think we'll see an elbow coming. But there's the foul on the contact. He rides him all the way down baseline. Whistle blows at this point, and let's watch that. Look at that elbow there.
There you go.
Yeah, a little shot to the solar plexus.
And you
got a little rowdiness there.
That's why Cockerham a little upset, and there you go. Missed free throw shot. So Wright misses the attempt. 8 team fouls already for the Greyhounds at the 9-minute mark here in the first. Mills with it out top. Ludlow freed up for a second. Strom out top, 15 on the clock. Tough pass, and Wright was out of bounds as he tried to come to that pass.
Well, and the Greyhounds got bailed out again. They got very stagnant offensively. Ty Cockerham, who again is Mr. Energy, has to keep his dribble alive. He's got to get a better base. He was overstriding. He didn't have a good base to either take off or to throw the pass, which was obvious. Once he threw it, he launched it. We got bailed out again.
Sean Drake will take a seat. Braxton Mills, the high arcing shot will not go. And there's a nice bounce pass up the court, and the layup is in on the fast break by Chappell.
Really nice fast break. Good passing decision to put that ball on the floor on the bounce pass forward.
And this is a team that is averaging over 77 points a game. 17-7, an early 10-point lead. DeAndre Brock, who has checked back in the game, looking for his first points of the game. Strom thought about the deep three. Mills, nice entry
pass. Go strong. There
and
you go.
Ludlow, patient, waits for the defenders to go past him and lays it in.
He did a nice job. Braxton Mills credited with good patience, with a good pass, and then Reed Ludlow, good footwork, get himself ready to shoot.
Greyhounds needing a stop here on the defensive end. Anthony T gives it off to Wright. Deep three, no good. And the rebound by the 7-footer Kripe and they'll call a foul on Ludlow.
Here's his long shot. Now we'll see where this foul comes up right there. Just got a lot of push. He walked into him, and that's where the foul came from. Reed Ludlow just walked into him and pushed Cripe.
Ludlow's second foul brings us to this timeout on the UIndy Television Network. Greyhounds trailing 17-9 thanks to Copyco, corporate sponsor of Greyhounds basketball here on the UIndy Television Network. And really, there's been some pressure coming from Northern Kentucky. It looks like, Rob, when they have the opportunity, they are going to run with this basketball and get into a transition game.
Well, they certainly have. They get the ball out quick. They fill their lanes. They look for opportunities. They're feeling good about themselves. They're taking chances, and they're converting quite often with a throw-ahead pass or taking it one-on-one or one-on-two to the basket. They're either getting the layup, easy layup, because the Greyhounds are just a step slow. They're not aware of where their people are, and instead of crushing to the basketball, they're looking to guard their man, and I think they're getting caught with slow feet.
Out of the timeout, Cripe, a 77% free throw shooting, hits them both, building the lead back up to 10. Cockerham with the basketball, still nothing from DeAndre Brock as Stephen Wright has locked him down. Brock, the leading scorer for the Greyhounds at more than 16 a game. Cockerham has been a bright spot. A little aggressive, ball goes off of Northern Kentucky, 15 on the shot clock.
Well, Tyke Cockerham again, you're right. He is very exciting tonight. He's one that's going to put the ball on the floor, take opportunities that are given to him. If he gets a half step, he's going to go. That time he got cut off, but again, the ball goes to the Greyhounds.
Strom triggers it to Mills, and that ball knocked away by Wright. Boy, he has some quick hands, and you can see for this 6'3 senior from Dayton has some long arms, a good reach on him.
Well, he's very confident in his skills, and his first step quickness is the best of anybody out there on the floor. He knows that, so he's willing to take chances. Obviously, he gets support from his coaching staff to do that.
Strom has the ball. Nice pass with the shot clock at 10, and a foul is called.
Really good screen and roll. Braxton Mills did a nice job up on the free throw line to roll. You'll see him go right there. He goes very strong to the open spot. Good lead-in pass. Oh, missed layup again by the Greyhounds.
And Mills misses the alley-oop on the inbound, but they retain possession. Fresh shot clock. That foul was called on Kevin Chappell. 6'3 senior from Ohio, second leading scorer on this Northern Kentucky team. Brock, aggressive, tough, leaning shot. Mills tried to keep it alive, and the Norse retain possession. Wright bodies up, and they're going to call an offensive foul on Wright, saying that he put his right shoulder and used the forearm to push Brock out of the way. That's his second foul.
Second foul, good job. DeAndre Brock's got to feel good about that, taking care, and we'll see it. Here he comes up sideline. Brock gets up, and they just, I think, called him for lowering that right shoulder a little bit. Questionable call.
I think, and that was at full speed. You can see the arm didn't come up till after the official had made the foul call. That's two quick ones on Wright. That's good news for the Greyhounds. See if they can get their leading scorer on the bench. Cockerham dribbles against the 7-footer into some trouble. Brock trying to bail him out. The shot clock at 8. Faces a double team. Wide open shot passed up. Strom a deeper three off the back of the iron. Cockerham up the ladder for that rebound, but it's knocked out of bounds. And the Greyhounds will have to get back on defense.
The Greyhound offense is very individualistic. There's not a lot of looking for the second and third passing opportunity. It's catch, dribble, look to shoot. If they bail out and throw it out, the second receiver's going to shoot quickly. Just not a lot of pressure to put on Northern Kentucky defensively. They're too quick with the trigger.
Humphrey, a 6'4 junior from Plainfield, Illinois, checks in for Stephen Wright, who takes a seat with 4 points and 2 fouls. 6 minutes to go here in the first half. Just 9 points on the board as the Greyhounds trailing by 10. Wide open three. The defenders leave him open. Humphrey couldn't hit it. Nice rebound by Brock. Here he comes on the push. Outstanding player in his days at Warren Central. Strom pulls up just inside of the arc. Odd spot to pick up the dribble. Mills out top. Braxton really hasn't a chance to go inside much. There's the backdoor alley-oop. Cannot get it to go down. One-handed, and it was just off the front of the rim. 5:20 to go. Teague with it out top. Gives it off to Humphrey. Kripe and Mills will be called for the foul.
Braxton playing behind Kripe that time, and you'll see him pull his arms down. You'll see Braxton Mills, number 42. You'll go in and reach, and he'll pull that right arm down, and then he'll come over to the left side, put his forearm in the backside of Kripe, and called for the foul, rightly so. If you're going to play behind him, you've got to body in with your hips and get good position on him. So if he does catch, he can't turn on you. You can't jump and try to rip his arms down against a 7-footer. The big difference in this ball game right now is really the inside game of Northern Kentucky. The presence of Kripe just causes defense for the Greyhounds to sag. There's nothing that does that on the opposite end. Northern Kentucky can play straight up defensively because there's no threat inside. Everything's on the perimeter.
Kripe now with 6 points. He shoots 55% from the floor, and for a 7-footer, an impressive 77 from the line. He's 4 for 4. Strom's pass finds its way to Mills. Ratcliffe was open for a second. Mills hesitated on getting him the basketball. Mills back with it out top. Strom a long way away from the hoop with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Frees up on the screen, can't get it to go off the glass. Northern Kentucky Humphrey, his second 3 attempt of the game, and that one is good.
Missed assignment defensively. Greyhounds left the shooter wide open. Vincent Humphrey wide open top of key.
Northern Kentucky has built a 24-9 lead here on the UIndy television network. There's a good look at some fans here at Nickerson Hall. The Greyhound Club, supporting all 21 Greyhound teams. Call 317-788-3359 for more information, or go online, greyhoundclub.uindy.edu. Join the alumni, parents, and friends who have made a commitment to enhance Greyhound athletics with the Greyhound Club. 4:26 to go here in the first half. A 7-0 run has given Northern Kentucky their largest lead of the game, 24-9. Justin Barnard checks into the game, has the basketball. The turnaround hook is good.
Nice job, good patience. They pounded the ball inside. Greyhounds patient, got a couple of passes and got a presence inside opposite the defender Kripe, who's doing a great job defensively for Northern Kentucky.
Justin's twin brother Jordan not playing tonight, injured his foot in practice, so just one Barnhart twin. Ball knocked away. Northern Kentucky retains possession. And the shot clock actually reset, and it should not have. And so now we'll take a look at what should be on the clock. It says 32. It should not have reset. Giving Coach Todd Sturgeon a chance to bark out some instructions to his team.
Well, I was just saying, James Kripe, the 7-footer for Northern Kentucky, number 41, watching him defensively does a great job of going from block to block defensively against Braxton Mills or against Reed Ledlow or whoever he's guarding against. He does a great job with his presence of pushing the man out deeper into the court than they want to play, and that's what's really made the difference. Their whole defense, Northern Kentucky's defense, has come from that.
All right, let's see what's on the shot clock.
Ball's loose.
Ball is loose. No one has possession.
So the possession stays with Northern Kentucky. And I'd say the clock was somewhere around.
I didn't think it was that.
I'd say it was around 19 seconds, 18 seconds. But
they have 8 on the clock, and a timeout is called, and the head coach of Northern Kentucky holds his palms out of the visual and says, "How did you come up with 8?
Well, I'll tell you how they came up with 8. You're at the University of Indianapolis, and the scorekeeper has no asset of watching a monitor such as we do. And so you're here at home in the friendly confines of Nickerson Hall. You're down a whole bucket full of points. So why not help your team by running this clock down? It's at 21, 20 when there's an exchange, 19, 18, 17, 16. Whistle blows. I'd say somewhere around 14.
You know, I was trying to watch that replay, but my mind was distracted by how much red paint it takes to cover an entire college student's body. There are some row of kids right behind the basket, just covered in paint. We had a good shot of one of those kids wearing his sunglasses, indoors, no less. But hey, What can you do? You're a college kid. You can do one. Look at all that. How much?
Gotta love it. They know they're on television. It's a great night. It's a Saturday night, University of Indianapolis. A lot of snow outside. Why not paint your body in Valentine red and come on over and have a hot dog and a soft drink and watch your Greyhounds play?
Well, and now they have to fire up that quick shot, and it's an air ball. And DeAndre Brock comes away with the basketball. Brock has it. It is 24-11. That is a deep three, and Barnhart can't get it to go down. And then a foul is called. And if that's Mills, that will be his third.
The ball does not go in the rim again. Barnard with the shot. Not sure where that foul came from. It's a little hard to see on the replay, but the shooting, really tough night here in the first half for the Greyhounds from Indianapolis, shooting 5 of 24 for a little over 20% in this first half. That, believe it or not, has risen from 15% halfway through this first half. So they've gotten to go up a little bit, but they've got to do a big adjustment in the second half from a shooting perspective.
They did call the foul on DeAndre Brock. He will take a seat with 2. In Northern Kentucky, a team that shoots 75% from the line is a perfect 6 for 6 here in the first half. I think it's 7 for 7 as Vincent Humphrey hits them both. He has 5 points, 26-11. Back up to that 15-point lead. Strom playing in his final basketball game, running the point. Over to Keith Radcliffe from Ritter. Myron Jackson is in the ball game. Nice spin move to free up Strom.
Good movement.
Radcliffe for 3, big shot.
Good ball movement. Strom did a nice job with his shot fake, then dribbles to the top of the key, kicks it back to his left. Then there's good spacing for the shooter. That's what helps him get the ball in the bucket.
The sophomore has his first 3 points. Under 3 minutes to go here in the first half on the campus of the University of Indianapolis and Nickerson Hall. Senior day between the Greyhounds and the Norse of Northern Kentucky. Finnell with the ball out top. Humphrey penetrates, gets the baseline, goes up strong. No foul call, gets his own rebound and puts it up and in. Humphrey now with 7. 28-14. Very aggressive as Radcliffe finds the open shooter. And the 3, high bouncing rebound. Barnard is able to control it, and a fresh shot clock. Boy, one of those rare 2-shot possessions for the Greyhounds. Barnhart, who extended this possession, can't get the shot, but Strom, 5'11", on a good day, tips it in underneath.
Really good presence by Scott Strom to stay around the basket, wait for something to happen, took advantage of the opportunity.
28-16. Northern Kentucky fires the 3 ball, no good on the rim. Rebound Braxton Mills. 1:45 to go here in the first half. Radcliffe to Barnard. He has not been shy since coming in off the bench. And Justin hits the runner for his 4th point. And the visitors from Northern Kentucky will call a timeout. And we will take one as well. 28-18 is our score on the UIndy television network. Well, the University of Indianapolis Greyhounds have answered a 7-0 Northern Kentucky run with a 7-2 run to cut what was once a 15-point deficit to 10. And Justin Barnard, Ralph, he's brought a lot of energy off the bench of this Greyhounds team.
Well, and that's the biggest thing. He's very quick. He was very confident about what he wanted to do and got a nice bucket to help the Greyhounds. Also a good assist.
3 ball no good. Kripe with the rebound. The 7-footer with a rare miss. Humphrey tried to keep it alive. And it's Northern Kentucky with the basketball. And now as Kripe goes down, the official will walk over to see if he is okay as a substitution occurs.
Yeah, here we go, Kripe with the big turn, and then all of a sudden, yeah, he got a hip in the groin area, and so he's a little sore right now, and he's going to catch his breath. He's played every minute of this first half, and I love this senior's attitude about how hard he plays defensively and offensively. He gets after it.
Strom, Ratcliffe, Barnard, Mills, and Jackson on the floor for the Greyhounds. You have Humphrey, Finnell, Morton, Kripe, and Chappell on the floor for Northern Kentucky. 45 seconds on the clock here in the first half. 10-point deficit for the Greyhounds. Finnell in the key, nearly has it knocked away. Loose ball coming our way, and the lob pass goes, forced to throw it up is Humphrey. Never hit anything. Great defense by the Greyhounds, and Barnard will slow it down. They can hold for one, and that's what Coach Sturgeon wants them to do. A chance to cut it to 8 at the half after being down by as many as 15. Coach Sturgeon barking out the instructions. Radcliffe with the ball out top, being pressured by Finnell.
Got to be careful with his ball handling because he's turning that ball over quite often when he changes directions.
Clock at 6. Loose ball on the ground. He's going to have to throw something up. Turns, fires with 2 seconds off the front of the rim. And we have reached the half here at Nickerson Hall. The University of Indianapolis, the Greyhounds, down by as many as 15. They have managed to trim it to 10. And we will take this timeout. It's halftime on the UIndy Television Network. Scott McCauley and Ralph Reef from Nickerson Hall, the University of Indianapolis, and Northern Kentucky have reached the half. And Ralph, we look at this half in which the Greyhounds were down by as much as 15. They do cut it to 10. What have you noticed thus far?
Well, number one is James Kripe for Northern Kentucky has just been very dominant on both ends of the floor. This was a game, this is a season for Northern Kentucky that's been about their guard, Stephen Wright, but not tonight. It's about their 7-footer and Kripe in the middle. James Kripe's just done a tremendous job defensively, has taken the total inside game for the Greyhounds away. So the Greyhounds have had to be out on the perimeter. As a result, they're 1 of 8, 12% from three-point land for the Greyhounds, shooting just 26% for the game, 8 of 30. So that's one factor. The positive note for the Greyhounds, Ty Cockerham doesn't normally start, trades time with Scott Strom, the senior, but tonight they both get a start really defensively, which has helped against Stephen Wright. Cockerham's done a great job against Stephen Wright, the standout for Northern Kentucky, but offensively, his energy, putting the ball on the floor, driving to the basket, Cockerham has done a nice job, only with a total of 5 points at this point in the ball game, but again, 5 of 18 total for the Greyhounds. Cockerham's energy, then Barnard later in the first half felt that same kind of energy, got a lot of second passes in, put the ball on the floor hard. So what we've got to look at from a Greyhound perspective, I think they've got to penetrate. They've really got to put pressure defensively against Northern Kentucky, get James Kripe to guard more than one person at a time, maybe get him in some foul trouble or get him off balance so you can get some layups behind him.
The O'Charley's halftime show. O'Charley's with 11 locations in Indianapolis and the surrounding areas, including one on Southport Road and a new location on State Road 135 south of the UIndy campus. O'Charley's, where good food and good times starts with O. That's O'Charley's. Now, Ralph, let's take a look at these Aqua Systems halftime stats. They are not pretty, but again, we know the University of Indianapolis, they can come back. They've been in these situations before.
Well, early in this season, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but it was a doomsday halftime back early in December when this Greyhound team hosted a very strong Southern Indiana University team, came back and won that ball game 56-55 after a lot of folks here at Nickerson Arena wrote that game off. This has traditionally been a Greyhound team that does a nice job coming back in the second half. As we look at our stats, Northern Kentucky 43% versus Indianapolis shooting, as we've said, just a dismal 27%. At one point they were shooting just 15% in the first half. Neither team looking good from beyond the arc, and that's the bread and butter for Northern Kentucky. They'll want to improve that certainly. Free throws, true to the season. Greyhounds have been somewhat average. They're 1 of 2, and they don't get to the free throw line often. That's reminiscent of tonight as well. 7 of 8 for Northern Kentucky, as you can see. Rebounds, 15 rebounds for defensive rebounds for this team of Northern Kentucky. Indianapolis getting their fair share, and turnovers fairly similar. Both teams have a prevalence of turning the ball over, so it's somewhat an average ball game from that regard. Both teams certainly want to shoot the ball
Those
better.
are the Aqua Systems halftime stats. Now here at the University of Indianapolis, it's not just about what you can do on the court, but it's what you can do off the court as well, and we have a pair of academic standouts we'd like to mention to you here on the O'Charley's halftime show, including Reed Ludlow, a 3.17 GPA, and Scott Strom, the only senior on this basketball team with a 3.09 GPA. And the Office Max scholar athlete of this basketball game is that senior guard, Scott Strom, about a 3.09 GPA in this fall semester. Scott Strammer, Office Max Scholar Athlete of the Game. Office Max, the official office supplier for the University of Indianapolis, proud to present today's Scholar Athlete of the Game to Scott Strom. Office Max commends his work on the court as well as in the classroom. That is the O'Charlie's halftime show. The Greyhounds do have some things to work on, and we will see what they can do as they come up on the second half. UIndy trailing Northern Kentucky 28-18 on the UIndy Television Network.